Oh boy, 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 oh boy. Off to go see the new Power Rangers movie. I'm all fueled up and I'm ready to go. It's morphin' time! Speeding time! Whatever, let's go!
Yeah, for you to
It's morphin' time!
Hey everybody!
Hi guys!
How's everybody doing?
What's up? So, here's something we rarely do. It's a rare vlog reviewing a movie.
Yeah, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The new one.
Well,
not the 1997 one.
Well, it's just Power Rangers.
Yeah, Power Rangers. They left out the Mighty Morphin part.
Yes,
because it's not so mighty, it's not so morphin, I guess.
Well, there's different ways of it. It's
right, I know, I'm kidding, yeah. Alright,
well,
anyways.
So yeah, we just got back from seeing the Power Rangers movie, and we both really felt like we should do a vlog and review this because, it was a big impact in our childhood when it first came out.
Oh,
93, I was like 8, you were 6 or 7.
Yeah, something like that. But it's basically shaped our entire childhood and who we are now.
Well, it was a big part of it, yes.
Hell, I still collect the toys from it.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the 3rd grade, and I remember being so impacted by it for a few years at least. I think it was around the time when they went into space that I kind of lost interest.
I have been watching since...
You've been into Sentai ever since.
Well, okay. I watched all the way up... Well, I liked all the way up to Wild Force, and then all the other stuff just felt wrong, in my opinion. It just felt different.
I think we just kind of grew out of it because they still work on making it so kid-friendly. I mean, I didn't want to say the phrase grew out of it because not long after Power Rangers began to Pokemon and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we probably shouldn't criticize the newer generation of Power Rangers because it wasn't after that age. Well, because we have, as much as we love the old stuff, we have to admit it was super cheesy.
It was
super cheesy,
and they still to this day make it as kid-friendly as possible. Now the movie, on the other hand,
that was interesting.
That we just saw is not kid-friendly,
oh,
and yet there were a lot of kids in this theater that saw it with us. So, God, well, for starters,
where do we start? Yeah,
I'll put it up on the title and say spoiler alert. We're gonna spoil it because there's no way you can talk about this movie without spoiling it. I want to talk about what happened.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, but first off, I want to say, I don't know about you, but I could really go for a Krispy Kreme.
We'll explain why. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
I think they get. Okay.
So if you've already seen it or just don't give two shits about seeing it and just want to hear us jibber jabber for who knows how long about our child. Well, yeah, first of all, being in the age of reboots and remakes.
Oh, yeah.
So many reboots and remakes over the past few years and for futures to come. I've tried to get into the habit of getting into these remake movies, keeping an open mind and not comparing it to... I don't want to be that person who's all like, you ruined my childhood!
Yeah, when I went into
Nothing should change! Yeah,
when I went into this movie, I honestly had my standards set pretty low. Mainly because of reboots and all that. I mean, hey, who directed this movie? Do we remember? I feel like it was Michael Bay. It has this feel. I mean, it was good, but it had the feel.
I'll have to put it up. Let me put it up on IMDb.
Yeah, I mean, what did I say? I don't really go too much for reboots, honestly.
Pardon my big head.
Mainly because of the way Michael Bay has basically destroyed the Transformers, at least the newest generation. I mean, I collected the toys and everything, but yeah, that's just my way of seeing it. Reboots don't always have the best turnout, I want to say. So who directed?
Trying to find. Director is Dean Israelite.
Oh, all right, some new guy.
So it's not. He's director running over Project Almanac, Power Rangers, and Aqualiland. I have no idea. Project Almanac, Power Rangers, Aqualiland, The Department of Nothing. So he's directed a lot of movies I've never heard of, but he seems to be a newbie.
All right.
So well, yeah,
Well, I guess it just had the feel of Michael Bay, just not with all the stupidity of Michael Bay. That's what I want to say.
Well, there weren't that many explosions.
True. Anyways.
All right, so to start off, I really liked it.
Yeah, it was fun.
I really liked it.
It was an enjoyable little movie.
I mean, honestly, I don't know if they would make it so much like the series, because looking back on it, like you said, it was a lot cheesy. I mean, first of all, like I'll talk about the story about it in a second, but I mean, think back, like if you were fans like us in the beginning, think back to when Zordon said, "Let's put a team of teenagers with attitude."
One that back then, they didn't have attitude.
Well, maybe they did, but
it's hard to notice the attitude when they're out saving the environment and all that.
But I mean, if anything, the worst attitude example would be Amy Jo Johnson's character Kimberly, who was all like whatever at first.
Yeah,
but,
the typical '90s girl.
But the characters they play were goody two shoes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Straight A's in school, volunteered for everything. Like, they're always being goody two shoes, like, oh, let's clean up the environment, let's teach these kids.
Oh, and always doing, like, a karate charity or something like that.
They do all this good stuff, and yet they're teenagers with attitude. I mean, if that's teenagers with attitude, then I hate to meet the really nasty kids in that world. Now.
Oh, and another thing, they really weren't teenagers back then. They were more adult than teenagers.
Well, they were in high school. They were teenagers. Maybe.
No. I mean, they were in their characters were in high school, but the actual people,
the actual actors,
they were not teenagers. They were not.
But yeah, the characters in the movie,
they were kids
who were not bad actors, by the way.
Yeah, they did a good job.
They were teenagers with attitude. Like these were like misfits.
They actually knew how to be actual teenagers.
They were. Like, not just teenagers, like, they were like misfits. These were
these
were teenagers with attitude. They were like they all met in detention.
Yeah, there you go.
I know there was no Bulk and Skull character like in there, thankfully.
Well, I like to think that one bully would maybe be considered the Skull of the group. Maybe.
Well, I wouldn't say so, because
he was at least one of the bullies.
He was a bully, but he wasn't made out to be a moron.
No, he was just an asshole.
He was just a bully. He was just an asshole.
Yeah,
which
is one of the basic requirements of being a teen.
So yeah, yeah, and the other part about the characters, the main characters at least, is that they had some character. I mean, the kid who played Billy, it's interesting what they did with him, because
he was fun.
I've noticed in some people have done better with developing characters who are like super geniuses, because like there are a lot of geniuses out there who have like I can't give all the science mumbo jumbo in there, but pay attention to detail, because there's a lot of people who like, there's different parts of your brain, you know, like there's one who's like artistic, one that's like book smart, some that's like, there's different sections of your brain, and then there's like, if there was a section that was overpowered, then you wouldn't have as much development with the other ones. So, of course, genius of the group is
super awkward.
Very socially awkward, and has like major memory. Like,
he remembers
everything. I don't know.
He remembers everything except how to be social.
I know that there's a term for it, but it's he remembers
a photographic memory.
No. He just remembers like there's a term for it like, when you remember like the exact what happened at the exact date and time and all that. Like
well, that's photographic memory, I believe.
No, that's just like when you remember a picture. I'm talking about like people who like you give them a date and they'll remember exactly what happened then, things like that. But yeah, that's like one example of good character development, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was worked out.
Yeah.
And let's see, where else should we start?
Jason, the kid who played Jason, was a athlete superstar turned misfit over a school prank, apparently.
Yeah, one thing he does wrong and he's ruined for life, apparently.
Well,
I thought he had more of a track record during that 3 weeks after.
Well, I mean, I don't know, like, it didn't seem well aligned to... They set that scene up when he got busted. Well, we'll explain that in a minute. They set that scene up when he got busted. So 3 weeks later, his dad pulls him up and he says, just when I thought you couldn't do anything stupider, you do stupider things. And it's like, he's a star athlete and yet somehow he keeps getting into trouble.
Yeah, what? No, I don't get it. What happened in that 3 weeks? Was he in jail or something like that? For starters, in the scene,
he was probably in the hospital that time.
Well, okay, in the scene, after the whole Zordon, Rita, and past thing, of course, and we start off...
Let's start from the beginning.
Okay. So, in the beginning, we start off with showing off...
In the past.
65 million years ago, we find out that there was an old set of rangers led by Zordon himself, and Rita... She happened to be one of the Power Rangers back then, the Green Ranger.
Zordon and Rita were Rangers originally. Rita was the Green Ranger, which actually makes sense because...
that would be why she had the power to turn Tommy into the Green Ranger, wouldn't it?
In the series, yes. And the moment that the suit came up, the movie started off with the Red Ranger crawling, apparently he was about to die. Mm-hmm. Holding hands with the Yellow Ranger, who's this random alien. And she ends up dying, and he's all like, oh, I'm sorry. He grabs all the power coins. He's in the red suit, and then he uses some powers to bury the power coins, and then he turns into... And the moment the suit came off, I was like, oh my god, that has to be Zordon. It has to be him.
Well, who else is blue in there, I guess?
But of course, in the end, Rita and Zordon are facing each other, and they have to acknowledge each other's names so we know who they are.
Oh, and Bryan Cranston did a great job in his role, I'd say.
He did. I mean, he's such a good actor, but I feel like
he knows how to have fun with a role.
I feel like they don't use him enough when he's in these parts. Like, when he was in Godzilla, he played the main character's dad, and he was good in that, and they ended up killing him off near the beginning.
No, yeah, I wasn't happy with that either.
He was just he's so good with his parts, but they don't use his parts enough. That's what's disappointing.
Well, he knows how to make a part his own when he has a chance. When you know he's not going to be there forever.
Oh, yeah, but anyways, they're sort of facing off. Zordon uses his power to bury the coins and pretty much destroy Rita. Rita gets sent off into the ocean and just pretty much...
Oh, no, wait. But for some reason, he's able to call someone and tell them, throw a meteor in their direction.
Was the meteor summoned?
That was the meteor that killed the dinosaurs.
So it was summoned by aliens.
I'm guessing that Alpha 5 was in space in the spaceship and he maybe shot a laser at a rock that fell down.
Could be.
But I didn't understand that part.
Could be.
That was one part that was still scratching my head. It's like, throw a meteor at me. But I'm sure I was like, how?
So that's pretty much the flashback that begins the whole thing, and then it cuts off to Jason.
Jason and a random kid doing a prank for another school, I believe.
They steal a cow.
Yeah.
I guess like he was the captain of the football team or something. He was a football all-star, and they kidnap a cow and hide it in the locker room or something.
Oh man. And then they had that one scene where
you explained it.
Okay.
This is the start of the movie. This is their best foot forward.
Okay, what is it? He's the kid that was with Jason. He said the cow's probably a little riled up. I just milked him, and Jason
milked her.
Her.
He says he milked her, and then Jason says him.
You milked him.
There was one udder down there, right?
It was one udder. It was really big, and oh god.
No. Let me just point something out. This is my inner Aggie. God. This is my inner Aggie student.
This was a part of me as cringe.
Well, this is my inner Aggie student because we went to a high school that was on a farm, so we learned about farm animals and stuff.
An agricultural high school, yeah.
Yeah, he says there was only one udder down. The udder is the big round thing that the cows have, and I believe both. Well, the udder's the big round thing that they have, and the little things you squeeze are called teats. So maybe that's just me being nitpicky with the terms. But anyways,
that's what got you.
But anyways, yeah, pretty much. The movie starts off with the kid realizing he molested a cow. Yeah. Wait, or a bovine, you mean say.
You're more worried about they didn't call it teats instead of being worried about the fact that they put a scene where
a penis joke.
Where they had an idea of having a kid basically jerk off a cow.
No, both of it bother me. Yes, both of it bother me. But that's the beginning of the movie with a flashback. And a kid realizing he molested a bovine.
He basically spanked off a bull.
He jerked off a bull. He realized that.
Let's not try to think about that anymore because I don't want to think about the details of that.
But that's how they start the movie.
Yeah, and so
a Power Rangers movie. Animal molestation.
Yeah, and so after that whole scene, they're getting chased down by the cops, and he flips his truck somehow, like crashing in that.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Yeah, and this movie had so many scenes where it just made me say they should be dead now.
Yeah.
And this was scene number 1.
We thought a lot of that in the beginning, but yeah, he tries to escape the cops. He ends up crashing and flipping the truck, and I guess he's fighting to be conscious or something, and then it fades out. Fades back in and says 3 weeks later, and
no. Then wasn't it then that they said Power Rangers in the corner?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
they had
the title is like a little Power Rangers sidebar in the corner of the screen. Really? Right, they put it like right here.
Like
I want to say
you're not starting the series of My So-Called Life. It says Power Rangers. How come it doesn't have that epic title sequence?
At least throw the Thunderbolt in there. That's a classic.
No, it shows the car accident. It fades out, and it's just this small text in the corner.
Like
Power
right
Rangers.
here.
That's just a small text in the corner. Power Rangers. That's it.
It's like the movie trying to say, hey, Power Rangers.
That's what you're watching. You're watching Power Rangers. It's like, really?
Anyways.
This was a cheesy TV series for children.
They made everything epic back then.
So I can accept if you wanted to start it off with a cheesy, epic opening sequence for this. Like, that's one of the few nostalgia moments I will make an exception for. But, no. Car crash, fade out, Power Rangers.
What do we expect? Movies nowadays are all dark and dramatic, and they always have the slow motion scenes. All that stuff. Well, anyways, moving on.
So, yeah, the next scene is Jason's father drops him off to detention hall. Apparently, his punishment is to go to detention every day, including Saturday, for the rest of his high school years, apparently, because the dad mentioned he has to be there every Saturday until graduation. So, I don't know if it's a senior year or not.
Oh, we should point out that we thought that the dad was one of the Power Rangers from the old show.
Oh my god, we were so confused at first because we did hear rumors that at least one of the original cast members was going to make a cameo, and when the dad showed up, he resembled, at first glance, I thought it was Austin St. John who played the original Red Ranger. I thought it was him for sure.
The second original Red Ranger. Not Jason. Not that Jason.
Yeah. Austin St. John played Jason.
Well, no. I know he played Jason, but Rocky, that's who I'm thinking of. He looked like Rocky, that's who I was thinking of.
He looked like Rocky to you? I thought he looked like Austin St. John to me.
Not as much, in my opinion.
He had the well-rounded face and the beard and everything. But anyways, it wasn't him. It was...
it was a guy named David Denman.
David Denman, who played Sam Scott, the father. But yeah, I thought it was the original Jason at first glance. But then as the movie went and showed more of him, I was like, nah, that's probably not him.
Yeah, she thought it was the original Jason. I thought it was the guy who played Rocky, the second generation of Red Ranger, in my opinion.
Let's see. Where is he again?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Let's find out.
I know I've seen his look before.
Cause yeah. Jeez. Just give me a moment. Let's go down to the 90s and see.
Do they have a section in the 90s?
It's down here.
Oh.
No.
Huh.
I mean, he's been in quite a few TV series.
Yeah, I know I've seen him before, but I can't remember what I've seen him exactly in. Anyways,
we can look through his profile later.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, we're gonna take forever to explain.
So Jason goes to detention. And in there is Billy and Kimberly. Kimberly goes to the bathroom to go for a text from her friends. She's in there because she punched the guy's tooth out for showing off some pictures or something like that, and now her friends hate her, I guess.
Well, they explain her situation later, but pretty much she was asked to go to the bathroom from these two girls who supposedly were their friends, and they just pretty much, in a very bitchy way, stated that they didn't want to be friends with her anymore.
Oh, they even brought an old picture and cut it up with scissors. They actually...
They cut her out of the picture with scissors.
They actually thought they needed to...
We're moving on from you. And
yeah,
then they stab the picture into the wall with scissors, and it's like, okay, I think you mean... Just say you don't want to be friends anymore, okay?
Yeah, they thought they needed to take the time to do that.
Well...
Instead, all they could have done was just rip up the picture, that's all.
Well, I mean, they'll get to that part of the plot later, but yeah.
And in Rebellion, she cuts her hair. So
just out of nowhere, she just cuts her hair. Like... Okay, that made a point somehow, and I missed it. Maybe I don't know.
Oh, and then Billy gets picked on by one of the bullies in there, and Jason saves him. And
does a Michelangelo moment.
Okay. He dodges some punches and then slaps him. But I love that.
And he says, "Did you just slap me?
Did you just slap me?"
Which, if you don't know, that's a reference. There's a reference to that in the latest Ninja Turtle series where Michelangelo gets slapped and he goes, "Did you just slap me?
Did you just slap me?"
I couldn't help but point that out when that happened. It's like, really? Okay.
Right. And then it moves on from that. What was the next scene from that? After that?
Billy wants to thank Jason after detention by doing some adjustments on the ankle bracelet that he's wearing.
Yeah, so he can go free roam now.
He's on house arrest, so in return for standing up for him against a bully, Billy offers to fix up the ankle bracelet so that he can actually stay out past 7 and not get in trouble. And it won't set off an alarm or anything or something.
Yeah, and so after that, he suddenly decides to have him come with him and go to the gold mines of Angel Grove to do something.
Well, they went to a mining area that was off limits, and they were.
But what was he going for again? I mean, did he know about the crystals, or
he mentioned that his dad was doing some digging there? When he was there, he kept bringing up his dad, saying that they were mining there together or something. They didn't really give that.
He brought that up while he was fixing with the ankle bracelet, which was weird.
Well, I mean, they didn't really give that much explanation about that. Like, they pretty much used him talking about his past as a comedic moment. Like, he was trying to fix the thing, but he was also stalling by talking about his dad and every moment that happened there, which showed like his memory
his
challenge.
Head going off.
And Jason's all like, "Can you hurry up, fix the thing." But so anyways, the next scene is the two of them driving up there and carrying this big suitcase. And then I guess Jason at one point feels like they're even enough and just ditches him there.
Yeah, and happens to run into Kimberly, who's trying to skinny dip.
Well, she's in her underwear. She takes off her shirt and...
Yeah, another thing for kids.
Yeah.
I guess the parents didn't realize that it was PG-13. Well, I mean, she's in her underwear and they talk, and we also happen to find out that this version of Zach and Trini are also there. First off, I like Zach. He is a fun character, in my opinion.
He's the laid-back, cool dude. I mean, he got some of the personality reference from the original Zach, but he also had his own thing going on. Mm-hmm. He was being like the cool dude, but I didn't feel like he was being so obnoxious about it. And then Trini is just like
the outcast,
the rebellious bitch.
Yeah, the silent, rebellious type.
They didn't give that much about her past either.
No,
which disappoints me because it just seemed like there was so. Like, in the scenes that she was in, it seemed like there was so much going on in her life, but they didn't show that much.
It seemed like the only thing she had going was that she was going from school to school, and her parents were so normal, I guess. Touchy.
Those were her complaints, but we'll get to that in a moment.
All right. Anyway.
There is a scene where I guess there was some character development, learning about their past or something, but... So anyways, Billy's ditched. He's out on his own.
He decides to blow up the mountain.
He goes to the area where he wanted to mine, and he blows this shit up.
For some reason.
Well, he was trying to mine down there. Like they didn't. They never explained why they were mining down there in the first place. But pretty much the place explodes. All the other kids hear the noise, and they all meet up there.
And they happen to find the wall that's made of glass, and they find the power coins in there, or this version of power coins, which honestly made me think of, what was I thinking of? Oh, do you remember those cookies that had, like, jam in the middle of them?
Yes, that's what they look like.
Yes,
see? They look like 1,000-year-old cookies with the jam in it.
Yeah. At least the Red Ranger, I would have tried to bite that. This stupid cookie's fake! Alright, anyways, they find the coins, they gather them. The cops come, they run off, he starts picking them up in the van, and then, Zach just jumps on top of the van, by the way.
We were both like, what?
Yeah, I knew the scene was coming, and when it happened, it still got me. Alright, and anyways, they were racing a train, and Billy's like, I got it.
This is the part that pissed me off.
They're like, I got it. Well, we figured they got it. We figured it was going to be that scene where they actually miss at the last minute.
They're trying to cross the train tracks before the train hits so that they can lose the cops.
Yeah, but we thought it was the scene where it like clips the bumper, but no, it actually rams them. Like, full on rams them.
Head on. Like, and not only that, but the car is flipping like Lightning McQueen in that new trailer for Cars 3.
This was
and falls downhill, and they're like upside down. The thing is smoking, and we're just like...
This is like the third or fourth scene so far that I was like, they should be dead. And then it goes black, and we cut into their room. So
that's what pisses me off. Like,
how? Why? What happened?
Did the people write the script just could not think of another way to make that happen? Like, why did they get struck by? I guess supposedly getting struck by that train. They had like this flashing thing going on where it shows their faces and the power coins. Like, I guess that's how they were activated, maybe? And maybe that's how they survived.
Yeah, but it still doesn't explain how everyone was teleported into their rooms without a scratch.
That's what pisses me off. Like,
does a coin do it?
Seriously, you start off with the accident, and it literally jump cuts to all of them waking up in their rooms like nothing happened.
Yeah, I mean...
How did that happen?
Well, I mean, Zordon or Alpha 5 couldn't have done that because they were stuck in the ship.
Like, the power coins maybe just teleported them to their rooms or something? I don't know. But, like, that to me was like a cheap shot. Like, they could have at least have a better way to do that. Like,
anyways.
I mean, throughout the movie, I really didn't find too many things that were wrong with it, per se. I just felt like there were some moments where I felt like they could have done something to improve it.
Yeah,
like, explain how that they fucking just did that.
Yeah, anyways.
I don't care if they have power coins. One of them should have...
They should be dead.
They should have been dead.
Or at least crippled for life. It's paralyzed from the neck down.
Like, what was the accident really necessary? Like maybe the power coins did save them, but the whole jump cut scene really threw me off. Like, what? Like, couldn't they have just like it would have made more sense if they were in the accident, but somehow managed to walk out of it and wonder how the hell they're still in one piece. That would make sense. Like the power coins protected them or something, but no, just jumped up in the next morning. They get out of bed, not like nothing happened.
Yeah, and so they get out of bed, they are different. They're stronger now.
Yeah,
really strong.
Yeah, they suddenly get superpowers.
Jason breaks the sink, Kimberly snaps her phone, Billy rips off a door.
This is the part where I felt like there was a lot of references to other franchises. Like, that part felt like the Fantastic Four to me.
Yes,
like
yes.
They come back from an epic journey and all of a sudden they have these powers.
Yeah, so...
There's a lot of comic book references in this movie.
Oh, yeah, so they're back in school, and my favorite part...
And this is where the Spider-Man reference kicks in.
My favorite part, Billy's doing his thing, and the bully comes over, He's saying he's gonna snap his wrist, and he can't. It's like he's trying to bend a brick. And then he headbutts Billy, and it's like he
headbutts Billy and knocks himself out.
It's like he tried to headbutt Wolverine with a metal head, and just goes out. It was awesome.
But
Billy knocked him out! You got knocked the fuck out!
That was the scene from Spider-Man, though.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man, yeah, he threw a punch and Billy didn't do anything. He just got whacked and got no phase. But that was Spider-Man!
Yeah. Alright, anyways. And then they're talking at school and
so Billy's showing off his popularity. All the nerds are like praising him at the cafeteria, like, "All hail Billy!"
I love when Kimberly shows up and it cuts all the nerds like
everyone's like, "Girl!"
They're like meerkats standing up like, "Girl? Girl? Is that girl?"
You know Kimberly Hart? Apparently Kimberly is the popular one or something.
Oh, and most of those geeks had really long necks. Did you notice that?
Wow.
Alright, anyways, and then the coins cause the cafeteria thing to heat up and melt, which no one questions afterwards. I mean,
Kimberly and Jason pull Billy aside from his worshipping area, and they talk about the power coins. They placed him on that section where you pick up the cafeteria food, and somehow it causes the metal parts to heat up, which causes the kids' lunches to boil and explode.
It actually melted the metal and all the trays that happened to be on the metal. And no one burned?
Well, of course it shows, like, the food explodes among the two bitchy girls who were friends with Kimberly, and Kimberly walks away with a smirk like, "Serves you right," even though she had no fucking clue how it happened.
Alright, so they go back to the site, Zach's there, Trini's there, and then Trini all of a sudden decides to climb up the wall like Spider-Man. She does like a cat thing, or no, that alien from MIB who just decides to climb up the wall.
Yeah, but
they do all this stuff.
What I don't get is that they all meet up there, and she's there too, but then the others ask her to come down to see if we can Jason's like, "Hey, come down here, we should figure this out together." Like, and then she just runs off. Like, why did you show up there in the first place?
Yeah.
Why are you just running off?
And then they all start jumping over cliffs, and Billy misses and falls down and into a pool.
Not before having a funny moment, though.
Yeah.
Like, everybody figures out that they can leap over large gaps, so they leap over this cliff to try to catch up to Trini, because for some reason she just wants to be alone even though she shows up there.
Yeah.
I don't get her at that point.
I didn't get her character.
But yeah, Billy's obviously last, and he's hesitant about jumping over. He's like, okay, if I die, he's walking about
that's 100 meter drop. It means imminent death.
It means imminent death. If I die, my mom's gonna be all alone. Maybe she could find somebody else, and he's doing all this stuff. But then he tries to jump over, and
he catches on the cliff, and he's up like, "Oh, that was awesome! That was awesome!" And then woo, falls off the cliff.
He hangs on by the ledge. He climbs up, and he's doing a celebratory dance, and then falls back,
which we all saw coming.
So they're all like, "Billy, Billy," and I'm like,
shit, he's dead.
I'm like, yeah, like he's gonna respond to you after that. But then all of a sudden, you guys gotta check this out.
And then Zach's like, "All right, whatever." Whee!
Everybody's like, "Whee!"
I love Zach.
So yeah.
And then Kimberly tricks Trini into coming down, like grabbing her and just jumping right down.
Well, yeah.
So they're in which happens to be like a pool of some kind, and they start glowing. Their whole bodies start glowing.
Oh God! There's a black joke in there.
I know. Zach's like, "I'm black," and Billy's like, "What? I am. No, you're not.
They're in the pool and they're glowing. Their bodies are glowing their Power Ranger colors. So Jason's glowing red, Trini's glowing yellow. Zach is somehow glowing black. I don't know how that works.
How do you glow? No, every time someone glows black in the show, they glow purple.
But Zach shouts out. Zach's an Asian kid in this movie. If you don't know yet.
Wait,
and Billy is black.
If someone was going to shine black, it would look like ink.
But
like it would look like oil spilled in the water.
Probably, but the character who plays Billy is black, and the character who plays Zach is Asian. It's like they switched the races around with the characters. But anyways, so Zach is glowing black. He says, "I'm black." He just shouts, "I'm black," and Billy's like, "No, you're not.
No, you're not."
I'm like, "Whoa!"
And so,
how much have they climbed in this movie? Like, this movie is obviously not for kids. You got death, you got explosions, you got animal molestation, and you got black jokes.
Yeah. Well, this is a new time, so anyways, Billy realizes there's more down there, and there's like another section of the pool. They fall through the water and find the ship.
There's another surface through the water. There's all this mumbo jumbo, like falling and figuring out where they are, and then they end up in the ship. Yes.
Yeah, and so they go in. They're like, "Shit, be quiet!" And Zach's like, "We're gonna be famous, yeah!" And then for some reason the ship starts powering up. I don't know why. And then Alpha comes out.
And then Alpha 5 comes up. Which I just say,
he's fun.
His design. Based on the trailer, I wanted to say this, but I just had to be sure in the movie. I have to say this. If any of you Mystery Science Theater people, if you are creepy enough to wonder or be curious about what would happen if Servo and Crow reproduced, you would get Alpha 5.
Actually, yeah, I can see that now. Alright,
I'm not too fond of his voice, but
I liked it. What I found funny was, one, that he had a belly. They gave him a gut.
He has a slinky belly.
And yeah, that's the other thing. He's basically a giant robotic slinky.
With a plate on his head.
He stretches his arms, and you can see through his arms that it's all coiled up like a spring. Anyways, he grabs them, he says hi and all that, Power Rangers and all that.
He's got these like light bulbs for eyes that blink.
And they blink. Why do they blink?
Why not?
He's a robot.
Why not?
Alright, anyways, they bring him to the power room, and they meet Zordon, who's stuck in a wall, which looks like one of those old things that were like pins, and you put your hand in them.
You were thinking that too.
Yes.
Like the little, I don't know what they were called, but the little box thing where they were like these pins and needles that not needles, but they look like pins and needles, but you put your hand in and it forms that shape. You put your face in, that shape. That's pretty much what it was. The big wall of that thing. I don't remember what it was called, but maybe I'll put a text in or something.
Yeah, they talk and all that, and the Power Rangers, he tells them to try and power up or morph and all that. They can't for some reason, because they're not linked, I suppose. So they go out.
But they were naturally, like in the series, they were just immediately summoned by Zordon and Alpha, and they were explained all this stuff, and they were supposed to just accept it, like, okay, let's save the world.
Well, they were pretty accepting of it.
But in the movie, they were hesitant of it at first. Like, naturally, they should have been like, what the hell's going on here? What do you mean we're Power Rangers and all this stuff? I mean, Billy was excited.
Billy was making sure that he got all of his facts straight.
Billy was excited about it. Like, we're superheroes now.
Are we like Iron Man or Spider-Man?
That I found funny because I found funny they put that line in there because they have a lot of, like I said before, there's a lot of comic book hero movie references in this. There was like Spider-Man scenes. There was like the characters had a chemistry like in the Avengers, where they get along, but they also make fun of each other a lot.
Yeah, and so after they can't morph, they decide to leave, and Jason talks to them and all that stuff, and then they meet. They jump out into the water and go their separate ways, and they would probably meet again, as we all know. And then it cuts away. This was a scene where it was the boat, right?
Oh yeah, the boat scene when
they pull. It's a fishing boat.
Jason's father is a fisherman,
Yeah, he's a fisherman, and he caught the fish, and it just happens to have the corpse of Rita on it.
Yeah, a mummified Rita Repulsa in the fish net.
Yeah, which she suddenly wakes up a little bit.
How they managed to make that happen, because if she's been buried in sea for 65 million years, like, you would think that a dead body would stay afloat for a bit. I don't know what a mummified body would float, wouldn't it?
I would think so.
They all float.
Maybe it's all the gold that she collects.
Well, she lost all her gold. That's why she was mummified.
I know, I'm just saying.
It was the gold that powered her.
I'm just saying, maybe.
Yeah, this lady is literally...
she's a gold digger.
You did that joke in the theater.
Yeah.
She's literally a gold digger.
No,
she needs gold to power up. We'll get to that in a second. The next scene is they meet up, right? They meet up again.
Okay. One scene was Trini talking to her parents. Or was that later?
Oh yeah, her mom is a nut job.
Oh yeah, she's trying to talk to Trini, and she's like, "Did you do anything today? Did you just meet some kids, make some friends, get a relationship? Talk to me!"
Seriously, she was like that. She was asking one question after the next, and she just... Like, she'll ask a question, and before she even gives her a chance to answer, she asks another question, and then she just flips at her, like, why won't you talk to us? Why won't you say something? And
well, with parents like that, I'm not surprised you wouldn't talk to them.
But, they,
Then she says, then the dad's trying to calm down. He's like, what did you do today?
Like, tell us one thing that happened to you today.
A bunch of kids and I found a spaceship, and now I think we're superheroes. And then Mom's like, pee in that cup!
She gives her a pee cup!
When I saw that in the trailer, I really liked that. That was one of the things that got me into the movie.
Like, maybe the mom is just one of those paranoid moms that worries that just because the teen is being rebellious that she's on drugs.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, she pretty much tells what happened, and she just the mother just pulls out this pee cup and says to her, pee in that!
Yeah, so, anyways, afterwards,
I'm yelling so much, I'm sorry.
It's alright. They meet up again, go to the place, and they try to
morph again.
They try to come in, and then Zordon's like, send them to the pit. And we're like, oh shit, what is this? And so Alpha sends to the pit where they have holographic putties, their version, which are basically just giant rock people.
They're like
they're clumps of rock all over.
Blotchy boulders. How do I describe them? Because I know there's been monsters similar to them.
They're rock monsters.
They're just rock monsters, pretty much, yeah.
And
so Zach is all like, they're just holograms. They're not going to hurt us.
Then one of them just decks him right in the chest. And he's like, not hologram! Not hologram!
Oh, well, I mean, the whole thing...
Oh, I love when Billy said, that's a solid-ass hologram.
That was a solid-ass hologram, but I was bothered by... The whole thing that you brought up where there were many moments where he said, you're supposed to be dead. Didn't you not see Zach pretty much bash his head against that rock?
Yes!
I don't care if you have mighty morphin superpowers. Your skull should have been split open at that point. Either you have a massive concussion or you're fucking dead.
Yeah, you should be drooling out of your mouth right now.
That impact he had, like, I don't care if he has superpowers. He should have had, like, his skull split open or be unconscious or something.
Yeah,
but that's just me being nitpicky.
Right. And so they start going into the training montage.
There's a training montage dealing with these putties, and a lot of hilarious montage pieces of training Billy, who can't fight, but then all of a sudden he can fight.
Yeah, and
even Alfalfa is training Billy to fight, and he improves quickly.
And so then they cut to some scenes like with Rita, right? And she is. Apparently she's going savage in this. She's actually going around plucking the teeth out of people that happen to have gold teeth in them.
She gets powered up by gold. Like, she literally gets powered up by gold because apparently Goldar was from the original series as like a sidekick or something. In this movie, he's like a summoned monster that she controls. And she needs gold to power up her power to summon her. So she's going around trying to... Like, she was mummified at first. And she... I guess she needs gold to power herself up and, like, regenerate.
Yeah, something like that.
And her final form, like, when she fully revives, to me, like, she's Rita Repulsa, but her design, her character design, her costume, in the ending especially, She looks like a cross between Poison Ivy and Divatox.
Yeah, she's like an Amazon look.
She's more like Divatox than Rita Repulsa, but she was still a pretty good villain.
Oh, and there was a scene where one of the guys happens to have gold teeth, and she pounces on him, and you can see the shadow of her basically digging her hand into the guy's mouth and ripping stuff out.
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ! And afterwards they go back to the chamber, and they're still not powering up, and Alpha shows them their Zords.
The Zords. I like the design of the Zords.
It is a cool alien kind of look.
They were moving, so they were obviously intact and alive and all, but I'm just like, were they really just sitting there for millions of years?
Yeah, well, these things look like they were kind of alive.
They look in much better condition. Like, they're Zords. They're made of metal or something. How could they not have been like 100% rusted or something?
Oh, can I just say, I love how they replaced the T-Rex's arms with Gatling guns.
Yeah.
That was I liked.
But yeah, they introduced the Zords, and Alpha explains that they're not ready for the Zords yet because they haven't morphed yet, so he just showed them as a way to encourage them to work together
and
to morph. And of course, Zack decides to go behind their back and try to ride the Zord, which he can't.
The Mastodon is interesting design. It's got 8 legs, and
it's like a Mastodon centipede.
It's got like a drill nose and tusks, something like that. But he goes for a joyride, crashes back. Jason, Zack start fighting because he's pissed off him. And
you ever got the scene with the nuns?
Oh right, the nuns.
He crashes out. He crashes to outside. He's trying to run the damn Mastodon. He almost crashes into a van, which he barely misses, and it shows a scene of. The van is full of nuns singing, and I don't care how loud that radio is. If there's a Mastodon robot about to impact into you, I think you would have felt or heard something.
Oh.
They did not even acknowledge. They did not see anything. They're just sitting there singing like, no.
Oh, I also love in the credits how it said there was actually a stunt nun. But it said they gave credit to a stunt nun, but where was the stunt? The scene. It only had one scene with the nuns, and it was computerized. But anyways.
But how they could not have noticed that at all is beyond me. Like, even if I had my music cranked up, I think that I would have felt or heard something if a machine was about to impact into me. Like, even if it did barely miss. But yeah, so Zack crashes the Zord back into the base.
Yeah.
Everybody's pissed at him. Zack and Jason get into a confrontation. And I don't know, I mean, none of us can figure out how this happened. Billy gets stressed out, and he breaks up the fight. He's like, guys, break it up, and then he morphs.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to make sense why he does it.
Because previously they were saying that in order to morph, you have to, like, have your thoughts synchronize and work together. But Billy just breaks up a fight, and then all of a sudden, it jump cuts to him in a blue suit.
I'm guessing it's because he had his mind set on keeping everyone together as friends or something like that. At least that's my thought.
It could be, but yeah. So he morphs, and he's all like, "Oh, this is so cool," and then the morphing goes away. It's kind of infusing their skin. And that's how they morph.
And Zordon's basically like, "You guys suck. Get out," and so they leave. And Jason goes back to the room and finds out that the only reason Zordon wants them to morph is so they can open up the morphing grid and he can come back in his own body and try to stop Rita.
Well, and he feels responsible because he and his team died and failed to stop Rita, so he feels like he's the only one left who can stop her, so he wants to be revived to stop her.
Right.
He doesn't want to depend on these teenagers with attitude who can't morph to save the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, they get into a confrontation, they leave.
Yeah, and so then everyone gets together by a bonfire, and
this is where the character development comes in.
They start talking about themselves, like all their dark secrets. Like
Zack
has a sick mother who's afraid she's going to die, and he's gonna be all alone.
Zack is, I guess he's rebellious, but he says his mother is awesome, but
I don't want to say he was rebellious. He's more free-spirited.
Well, his mother, he says his mother is awesome, but his mother is also dying.
Yeah, she's really sick.
He tries to stay out of... He tries to keep his distance from her because he's terrified of waking up one morning and she's gone. That's what... And she's pretty much all that he has, so he's... I guess he's just afraid of being alone. Yeah. That's his thing.
And then just to shorten him up, Billy doesn't miss his dad that much.
And he likes country.
Yeah.
He likes country music.
Yeah, Kimberly, she was mad about a picture sent, all that.
Well, she doesn't...
The bully and all that. No, the guy she punched and all that.
Well, she doesn't describe it until later on. Like in the campfire, she says, "Skip me."
Oh, yeah. Sorry, she skipped.
Later on,
she later on says this with Jason.
Later on, she does explain to Jason that apparently she received a photo from one of her former friends. It was an embarrassing photo, and then she shows it to a guy that he was dating, and apparently... I guess maybe he was the one who sent the photo everywhere.
I'm guessing this was like a nude pic or something?
They didn't show the pic, they just said it was an embarrassing photo.
I mean, if it was...
She punches... I don't know...
She punches...
She said it so fast. It's like I guess like they found out that she was the one who technically caused the havoc of the picture being spread all over the school because she shared it with the boyfriend. And I guess the boyfriend is all like, oh... The boyfriend went and told the school, Kimberly is the meanest person ever, and he gets punched in the face for it.
Right.
They kept bringing that up throughout the movie. It's like, there's got to be more to it than just a punch in the face, why she's in detention and why she's so unpopular now. But who was next?
Well, there
was Jason, right?
Jason talked about him being the punk... The ex-football player, and then Trini was talking about the family, as we already mentioned.
Well, Trini, here's the thing. She didn't really say that much about her issues. She's been in three... She's always the new kid. She's been in 3 different schools in 3 years.
Yep.
Which can be an issue for some kids, I guess. And she's always talking about her family...
Being so normal.
I guess, my theory is that maybe she was just stressed about her family having high expectations of her being normal, but it doesn't really explain why she is the way she is.
Yeah.
And also there was a moment where she mentioned because of moving so much that her parents don't have to worry about her relationships, so Zach asks boyfriend problems, and she sarcastically says yes. And then Zach says, girlfriend problems?
And then she pauses.
And then she pauses.
Oh,
and then starts explaining about her family's expectations. I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, okay. The internet has been going crazy because they're hinting that this was the first lesbian superhero or something, but...
Was there really rumors about that?
No, people have been going crazy about that just because of that little hint.
Just that little... nothing was confirmed about her sexuality, but it's like... Zach asked girlfriend problems. He didn't say it as a joke. He said it seriously. And then Trini she pretty much just pauses and then talks about her family's expectations and stuff. And I'm just like, wait, what? You're just not gonna...
Nothing was confirmed, but it was hinted, I guess.
They teased us with that. We shouldn't make a big deal out of it because I don't care if she's a lesbian or not, but I'm surprised because Beauty and the Beast, everybody made such a big damn... Look, spoiler alert of Beauty and the Beast. I need to talk about this. Beauty and the Beast, they made such a big damn fuss about how there's going to be a gay character in it.
And yet no one bats an eye that the movie's about bestiality.
Well, aside from that, I saw Beauty and the Beast, and there was a character that was obviously gay, but it's not like he was more flamboyant. It was just his flamboyance, and then there was a scene where he danced with a guy for 2 seconds, and there was also, he had the hots for Gaston and all that, but it wasn't, he was gay, but it wasn't shoved in your face. Everybody was spreading news about it that, oh, there's a gay character in it. People were expecting him to make out with a guy on screen or something. There was barely nothing there.
Right.
I don't mean to spoil for you.
I don't care.
But the gayness was nothing. It was nothing. And then you got the scene with Trini, they're bringing up this little thing about her possibly being a lesbian. I'm like, is this even necessary?
Yeah.
Maybe if her plot was that she was a lesbian and people weren't accepting her, then yeah, maybe that could have been something. That could have been her background.
Yeah. So, anyways, that scene is all done. there's a scene with Rita again at a jewelry store, and she's gathering up.
She needs all the gold.
She's eating gold and stuff. Oh, and she now has a staff that also happens to have a human jaw in it, which kept getting.
That was cool.
Yeah, and
I wouldn't mind cosplaying Rita if I had the time to make her outfit.
Yeah, and the cops come. She summons one of her putties, and
the lady, the store lady behind her is like running in the back, throwing a shoe at her, like ah! Did you notice that?
I did not see that one. All right, and she burns the place down, and later on she meets Trini and talks about them.
She wakes up in bed with Trini and is throwing her around the room and threatens her.
And she's always wet. She's dripping everywhere all the time. Have you noticed that?
I don't know. Maybe that's her like regenerating herself. Cause,
I don't know.
You know, she was mummified, so maybe she's the gold rehydrates her.
So she talks to Trini saying, "You could join me and all that if you tell me where the jewels are."
I was just like you. I was the rebel of the group. You could be like me. And I guess she was trying to convince her to turn against the team or something. And I was thinking, like, where's this going? Will she turn against them or something? But then she talks about how she's going to this place and gonna do all this shit, and threatens and tells Trini I'll spare your life if you don't tell anybody. Like, why would you tell her in the first place then?
Yeah. Well,
Trini immediately texts everybody, tells them to meet up, and informs them what's going on.
Yeah, and so they go to the spot where they're supposed to meet her, and she shows up, and
obviously it's a trap.
Yeah, they fight, and she actually kicks their asses. Then she has them trapped and tries to get them to tell where she is.
Well, I guess maybe that's the reason why she cornered Trini, to set them up for a trap.
Probably.
I guess that does make sense.
She knew one of them knew where the Zeo crystal was.
She somehow found out that Billy, and there's a scene where Billy does figure out where the Zeo crystal. We didn't explain that, did we?
No, he's going around trying to find the Zeo crystal.
There's this big ass Zeo crystal that apparently creates life on each planet, and each planet in every solar system has a piece of it. So.
Yeah.
So this was informed when they first showed up in space. We forgot to mention that part. So Billy manages to figure out the exact location of the piece of the Zeo crystal, and it turns out to be
Krispy Kreme. Product placement.
I don't know if they sponsored them or what, but yeah, apparently it's at a Krispy Kreme. It's not some made up store. It's a Krispy Kreme.
It's like, where is it? Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme? Krispy Kreme.
there's the scene. She interrogates Billy and threatens to kill the others if he doesn't say anything. And he says it's at a Krispy Kreme, and she's like, Krispy Kreme? Krispy Kreme, yes. Like, oh my.
I wonder how many times they got paid to say Christmas tree.
Christmas tree.
see, I'm saying it so many times I'm getting my words mixed up.
Yeah, well,
Krispy Kreme.
Well, you know that the Krispy Kreme people are watching this movie, and every time they say it, they're like, cha-ching!
Like, yeah!
Now the people who've seen the movie are going to go to Krispy Kremes.
Alright, anyways.
Billy gets killed.
Billy's killed off by her. And they're
drowns him. They're tied up to a boat over the water, and she, like, uses her staff to release him. Like, not only does he drop him in the water, but I guess her power electrifies him in the water, so he died.
He's straight up dead.
They pulled his body. She runs off. The Rangers all get loose. Pull Billy up. He's dead. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I know there's been a lot of stuff in here that's obviously not like the nostalgic series, but you killed off one of the main characters, so I'm guessing either he's gonna stay dead or they're gonna do some bullshit stuff that bring him back to life. I don't know, but
right.
so he's dead, and they all carry him like Jesus back into the base.
Yeah,
and they're like, Zordon, help us! Like, how do you know that Zordon has the power to bring somebody back to life?
Well, what other choice do we have? They're aliens, you don't know. And so they talk to each other saying, I give my life for them too, and the morphin grid just powers up. And this is Zordon's chance to get back. He's gone for like for a minute.
This was his chance to be brought back to life.
Yeah, and this is gone for a minute. He comes back in the wall, and he's like, "There's only room for one," and he somehow brings Billy back to life. And
which actually, that's actually a good way to bring someone back to life. I don't mind that.
What, going through the power grid and grabbing their soul and putting it back or something?
They did mention in the past that the power grid had the ability to bring Zordon back to life, and he selflessly sacrificed that to bring Billy back to life. I was worried, after Billy died, I was worried that they were going to do some bullshit nonsense to bring him back, like from the first Power Rangers movie when Zordon died, and they all just all
they all just hold hands and they all just
hold hands and sing Kumbaya, and all this the lights are flashing and Zordon brought back to life. I'm like, bullshit.
Anyways,
but that was actually a good way to bring someone back to life. I didn't mind that.
Yeah. So anyways, he's back. They feel the bond, and so they try morphing again, and Jason happens to say it's morphin' time. And they power.
You cringed at that.
Well, I was like, oh, really? Did they say that?
Well, of course they would say that. Mm-hmm.
All right, and so they get their suits like it melts onto their body and all that, and.
I actually think the designs look pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, and then they had that little thing where they flashed lights all of a sudden. It kind of hurt my eyes. But then they get the suits and they do the movie trailer scene where they're slowly do the slow motion at the camera.
But yeah, after the movie's like the movie's like maybe 3/4 to 80% done, and we finally see the damn suits.
We're 3/4 into the movie and we're finally at the Power Rangers part. So, anyways.
And they get the Zords. Well,
yeah, no. They fight.
They fight the putties first.
Oh, yeah. Rita
fight sequence.
Rita goes to the gold mine, gathers all the gold there, and creates Goldar.
Goldar, who's just this big...
He's a melted candle.
He's a giant melted statue. That's all he is. Like, he didn't even have a face.
No, he didn't.
He's just this giant summoned monster. He's not like the Goldar in the series. Which I know I'm comparing, but, Goldar, I really liked his character in the series. He was... But the Goldar in the movie is just a summoned creature, has no lines, and is just under full command.
It's just a monster. That's
pretty much, yeah.
Right,
just a summoned creature.
So,
and then they go to the
They fight her putties for a while, and then
really cool action sequence, by the way.
Yes, it was good. And then Zach gets the Zords. Wrecks the whole thing, and then they gather all the Zords and go to the city. Oh, okay. And Rita's like, Krispy Kreme that way.
Oh my god! There's gotta be a skit or a fanimation of this. Rita seriously just walks down that street and is like, Krispy Kreme, where is it? And
even better. She's in the Krispy Kreme and stops for a moment to have a donut. She has 2 donuts! She just sits down and has the donuts!
While Goldar's crushing the building to dig for the crystal. It's like, oh my god,
how much product placement do you need for this goddamn place?
Well, I guess they sponsor the movie, so they want as much as possible, but I found hilarious that
even Samsung didn't shove it in her face that much.
Well, the thing is, she's walking down the street, Goldar is starting a rampage, and she's just like, Krispy Kreme, and I'm just like... if they had just played this scene alone, I would have thought, she really wants a fucking donut.
Yeah.
It's like that fanimation, there's a My Little Pony fanimation that shows Derpy going on a rampage.
I saw that one, that was funny.
When they find out that they run out of muffin. She's stomping and starting a rampage like, Derpy want muffin! And you're watching the movie like, Rita wants a donut!
Yeah. Alright, and so, everyone shows up in their Zords, which... I still think are pretty cool. They have an updated Transformers kind of look, and so they fight. It's
not before they do that awesome entrance sequence where
you're right.
Where they played the original song, Go Power Rangers.
No, they played the song from the original 1997 movie, that version, which was a nice touch, I gotta say.
While they're charging, like the famous charging scene, Billy is charging backwards.
Oh wait, I got this in reverse! I'm not doing this right! How do you even do that? Isn't the thing kind of half alive?
Oh, and can I also bring up, I don't know how they managed to put that in, but Billy decides to say, yippee-ki-yay, mother. Oh, and just mother is fine.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of comic book reference and then all of a sudden a Die Hard reference.
Yeah.
All of a sudden he's like, yippee-ki-yay, mother. Oh, just mother is fine.
So they go on to do the giant Zord battle. And
like they just suddenly know how to use those things.
Yeah. Oh, Kimberly can fly now. Fly a jet.
Can I interrupt with my nitpickiness again?
Here we go.
I mentioned before that I didn't find anything bad. I just found I thought of ways that they could have improved. They had a montage of them training. We didn't get to see the suits or the Zords till near the end. Why couldn't there have been, why couldn't the montage be them, like, the scene where Billy figures out how to morph? What if they all figured out how to morph then, and then do a montage of them learning how to use the suits and the Zords?
Yeah.
Because you can't really expect them. The fight sequence with the putties after they morphed.
Well, technically they did the same thing in the original series. They just put them in the Zords and they knew how to do everything.
Well, apparently, yeah, but
yeah.
But this is where my nitpickiness comes in, because the first fight they had with the putties after they morphed, they're doing all these badass things. As Jason's summoning a sword from his hand, and like, how did you know how to do that?
Yeah.
And doing all these special tricks with these.
And where's everyone else's weapons?
How did you guys know how to do all this shit? You only morphed once. This is the first time you've morphed, and well, okay. So yeah, that's my bitchiness.
Yeah. All right. So
the montage should have been more focused on the Zords and the suits, kind of like in the Voltron reboot series.
Yeah. So they fight.
Back to the story.
Yes. So they fight with their Zords, which is pretty cool. And
it was a really good scene.
Yeah, it was all the fighting, all that. Jason takes a moment to save his dad from his burning truck.
Yeah, his dad's driving around trying to find him, and his car flips in the incident, and it's on fire. It's about to explode. Jason comes out, saves him, and like.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's it. He saves him and then goes back off to battle.
All right, and so at one point, Kimberly grabs Billy and throws the Triceratops at Rita. She's knocked out. They think they win because everything's falling apart, but Goldar's still alive somehow and wakes her up by burning her skin, I guess. And so
gold replenishes her. She's literally a gold.
Oh, right. That's what it was. Okay.
Apparently, the gold in her system, and Goldar heals her with that.
Yeah, and so Goldar has them back. Oh no, they find the Zeo crystal, and then Goldar starts backing them into a corner and pushes them into a hole of fire.
They're all bunched together trying to push Goldar. Goldar is obviously stronger, pushing them back, and then they started they bunched themselves together, and this is where I'm thinking Megazord.
Yes, well, obviously.
The Megazord has to show up at this point somehow.
And so they fall into the pit. Oh yeah, she says push them into the pit.
Well, first there's a little scene where they're all the Power Rangers are.
They're emotional.
They're suffocating. They're about to die. Yes, they're emotional. It's heated. They're sweating. They can't breathe, and they all figure, we're gonna die. Let's die together. And then they all get pushed into the fiery pit. Yeah. And this is where your complaint comes in.
Well, they go into the pit and they transform in the pit.
The flames
they make the Megazord, and while they're burning,
are blocking their transformation. Though.
Yeah, but that was my rant. That's what one of the best parts of Power Rangers was, watching the Zords combine into the Megazord. But they show little clips of it, and it just rises out as the Megazord, and Billy's like, this is so cool. We're together it's like a Mamazord. No, that's not cool. It's a Megazord. Like, okay, there we go.
And then it shows the Megazord, which is the reason why you accidentally said Transformer is because I said that
it's the Michael Bay feel.
It looks more like a rejected Transformer character. I mean, I'm sorry, but I mean the Megazord was meh. Yeah.
Well, it was the kid-friendly Zord, I guess. Anyways, they're about to fight, and they trip. The Zord trips, which makes me feel like, yes, this is what's supposed to happen. You're not supposed to know how you're not supposed to know how to do this shit right off the bat.
Well, I was just saying before, you can't just jump in a battle and use the Zords and the suits for the first time and know how to do all this shit. So I'm glad they added that. They were trying to learn how to work together on the Megazord, and they trip. Yeah. They realize that they each control a limb, and they learn to work together on it. Yeah. Can you just imagine Like, there are some 2-player games out there where you try to work together and it's a pain in the ass, like Battletoads or Mario.
Yes.
Imagine that with 5 people. Imagine trying to work together. Imagine there was a video game where 5 people had to do this teamwork stuff. That was challenging.
Right. So, Rita fuses with Goldar to fight, and then they do fight, and it's cool. It's like a giant robot battle that we're supposed to see.
The battle scene I was pleased with. The ending, however, I wasn't so satisfied.
Right. So they fight. They grab swords from their back, stabs Goldar, and she's done apparently. And
that's it. They stab Goldar.
And
she comes out. He melts, and she's in this spiel like, "There will be more of me coming up for your power."
And so she leaps at them, and Jason's like, "Billy, do that!" And he bitch slaps his Rita into space. And she freezes!
In space. That's how they finished this epic battle in Power Rangers, was an ultimate bitch slap!
Yeah.
The bitch slap of fate!
Yeah, and so they...
I was like, that's it? Really?
Yeah, and so they win. Okay, what made it better was we cut to the crowd staring at the robot, and we see the original...
No, wait.
Go on.
I interrupted.
We see the original Tommy and Kimberly in the crowd.
Amy Jo Johnson and Jason David Frank are among, like, the people are crowding around the Megazord and seeing the damage and all, and they're jump cutting to different people, and then they show a close up of Amy Jo Johnson and Jason David Frank together, looking at the Zord and taking pictures, like, and I'm like,
and they look good. They're like 40 now, right?
Well. Yeah, but Jason David Frank is a champion fighter,
no,
so he better look good.
And Kimberly...
Kimberly hasn't aged a bit.
Yeah, she's like...
Amy Jo Johnson looks like exactly the same.
She's like Mariah Carey. She never ages.
Amy Jo Johnson, I doubt you're going to watch this video, but I need to know what kind of, like...
What's your secret?
I need to know what your skincare products are, because, you know, when I reach that age, I want to look exactly...
Yeah, and
you haven't aged, girl. You look great. You both looked great.
And so they win, and Billy has the Zord do a little dance. That he calls it the algebra.
I
call it the algebra.
Megazord's like doing... Yeah, I call this the algebra. Why?
Yeah.
Why is it called the algebra? Do I want to know?
So it's over. Jason goes back to Zordon, puts a sword back into the thing, and he's like... Okay, and he walks off.
Well, he's like, Zordon says, "You can keep that sword," and Jason says, "I'll come back for it." So pretty much they're going back to their daily lives until something else happens and they need the Zord.
Yeah, and so they're all back in detention, and they live happily ever after.
They live happily ever after in detention. I guess their lives are better.
Like, and it ends with them just throwing paper at each other. Which is weird.
It's a piece of paper they throw at each other.
Which they can just catch like that, like a ninja star.
And it's a drawing of the trademarked lightning.
Oh, right.
Colored in different colors. And that was it. That was the ending.
And then the post-credit happens.
The post-credit, yes.
Where they hint that Tommy, or their version of Tommy's going to be there.
Well, I mean, they should...
The guy in there is like, is Tommy here?
There's a new kid, Tommy Oliver, and all it shows is an empty desk with a green jacket. Like, so there's no person in there playing Tommy. They just announced that there's a new kid, Tommy.
And then they cut to the hallway, and a door explodes, and Billy's like, "Yeah, that might be my bad. That's my fault. Sorry."
Well, we should explain that. The reason why Billy was in detention was because his lunchbox exploded. And
they never explained why. What did he do to blow up his lunchbox?
He probably was doing an experiment. He said his lunchbox was in his locker, and it exploded, and that's what got him to detention. And so I guess maybe he was working on an experiment. But yeah, the ending, the post-credit ending, was the detention teacher announces there's a new kid in there named Tommy Oliver, and we're just freaking out like, yay, the Green Ranger's here! And he's like, he's going all Bueller, Tommy Oliver here. He just keeps repeating himself like nobody's answering. It just shows an empty desk with a green jacket on it. It's like you're doing the Bueller scene, like you keep repeating and he's not answering. He's obviously not there. But then it just suddenly goes to a scene with the hallway exploding and Billy's like, my bad.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah, we thought there was going to be a post-credits
Hey everybody, Fangirl back here. So you probably noticed in our Power Rangers review it immediately got cut off. Apparently I didn't realize it, but I guess my memory card went up while we were jibber-jabbing so much. I apologize for that. But don't worry, you didn't miss out too much. We pretty much explained most of the movie, and we pretty much gave our final thoughts of it. So yeah, I apologize for the jump cut. I need to buy myself a bigger memory card or something. So I'm just going to give the quick outro. Thank you guys so much for watching that long review. If you like what you see and you want to see more on our channel, feel free to play with the buttons below, like, comment, subscribe. If you'd like us to do more similar if you'd like us to do similar vlogs like this, stuff to review about, stuff to discuss, then feel free to leave a comment on that below as well and give a shout out about topics that we could talk about. Hopefully not as long as this one. Thanks again, and stay savvy, everybody. Love ya.